looks fake? And does that mean that they possibilities? The possibility that it looks, I have friends that are photographers.
The things I find most striking, call it the southern land.
But does that mean they didn't go to the moon? No, it doesn't. And so when I was saying it proves that they didn't go to the moon, my critique of myself is that I didn't look at it objectively because I wanted one conclusion to be true. And I wanted that conclusion to be that the moon landing was fake. So I looked at it and I was saying to myself, okay, did I come to this conclusion because there's a lot of evidence that shows it to be fake, or have I seen a lot of evidence that looks fake? And does that mean that they didn't go to the moon? Right. No, it doesn't. There's a bunch of different possibilities. There's a ton of different possibilities. There's also the possibility that whatever photographs they took can get severely damaged in the radiation of space, and that it was really difficult to do.
Right.
That's possible too, and that they decided somehow or another that they were going to pass off these, that they actually did go, and they decided they're going to pass off some of these fake videos. So there's a bunch of possibilities. The possibility that it looks fake because I'm dumb, and because I don't understand anything about the physics of 1/6 Earth's gravity, and it just looks weird because it's shitty film, it's 1969. That's possibility number one. Number two is they fake some things. Or number three is they didn't really have good footage because, like, you couldn't take film through the airport. Remember that?
Yeah.
Like, people would go through those radar detectors, and your film would get jacked, and they weren't responsible.
I didn't have any film, but I know
people that I have friends that are photographers, and my uncle's a photographer, and he would tell me you can't send the film. Like, if you have you take a roll of film and awesome
so
pictures.
How would they get it through?
I don't know. I don't know what the fuck they did. But I know that some film has been damaged. Or maybe it's an urban myth. Maybe. Find out if film got damaged by those radar things at the airport. X-ray.
One of the things I find most striking is the presence of Antarctica on ancient maps, because we didn't discover it until 1820, and yet it's on maps drawn in the 1500s with great detail, which again were based on much older source maps that have now been lost to us. Astonishing thing is the so-called Pinkerton world map. I don't know if you can find it, Jamie. Drawn, I think, in 1813 or 1818, based on the latest exploration data at that time. And where Antarctica is, yeah, that one, keep going right. It just shows a hole where Antarctica is. Because it was an honest map. Nobody had found it by then. But if you go back to, for example, the Wolsey-Wooler world map drawn in 1530 or thereabouts, you find Antarctica is present. That map shows Antarctica exactly where it should be. And it shows it, there we go, Antarctica, at the tip of South America, just south of South Africa.
And what did they call it back then?
Well, they call it the southern land, and it's larger than it is today, but it was larger than it is today during the Ice Age. Antarctica was a much bigger. Now, what the fuck is it doing on a map drawn in the 1500s, which we know was based on older source maps when nobody knew it existed in the 1500s? To me, the obvious answer is we are dealing with the fingerprints of a lost civilization that mapped the world and that left evidence of that mapping, which ancient map makers found and used and incorporated into their maps. These maps can be very confusing because they were trying to mix exploration data from their own period with data from the older maps. But when you look at these maps in depth, they're very, very intriguing.
Ancient civilization
is above the King's Chamber in the Great Pyramid are 5 further chambers. And these chambers are roofed and floored with granite beams that weigh about 70 tons each. And there are hundreds of them.